And we're live. That's it. We're doing it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone and the Q&A on Thursday nights. If you're a Patreon member, you can ask questions ahead of time, and we will feature them, or a YouTube member. We will feature those on the screen, and we also, we're going to take your questions. Well, Brianna's going to, as you can see. Brianna is assisting me this evening just because you wanted to.
And I wasn't at work.
And you weren't at work. Yeah, exactly. So there you go. There's balls underneath the couch.
I'll grab it.
Okay. I will continue to tell them what we're talking about tonight. And if you will retrieve the ball out of the couch and throw it into the living room so that this does not happen again. So, let's see. Distracted by dogs. Oh, really?
No, there's a piece of foam from something.
We should take that away from him anyway. Okay, so all of these live streams are ad-free. So if you want to support the channel, you can use a super chat, and Brianna will catch that. We'll throw it up on the screen, and we'll answer those right away. You can also go to DylanTalksTone.com and buy neat stuff. Guitar parts, guitars, pickups, merch. I just made a new merch thing today. It's not even on the website yet. It's a koozie, and it looks and feels like a golf ball. It's kind of cool. So I'm experimenting with that material. And we're also experimenting with a bunch of other stuff, which we'll talk about during the off-topic hour. Also, you can buy products that'll help support the channel. Super chats, we already talked about that. You can also use some of the affiliate links in the description below. I wanted to mention one that I thought was interesting. StuMac, and I linked it in the description, is having a sale on tools. They always have sales on tools. But this is basically a... Zeba. No. I don't know what he thinks is underneath the couch. Hun, can you try calling him again, please?
I don't think she's in there. Oh. Boys, go get her.
They think there's something under the couch in here, and they're digging a hole in the floor. Or, trying to. Okay. There's a tune-up set that's pretty interesting. So it's a tuner. I think it's a knob puller. It's their little toolkit, which I love. I use all the time, not even just for guitar stuff. I actually use it for sharpening knives. Because it's got these little... Anyway. And what else is there? And adjusting stuff. And there's something else, too. Maybe there's the little card that shows the string height and a bunch of other stuff. So there's this whole little set for setting up your guitar. It's really cool. And that is on sale. It's like 30% off, or $50 off or something. So that's pretty cool. So check that out in the links in the description or any of the other links that you might be interested in. No. Come on. Go.
Right now, everybody in the comments is saying that their wives and or girlfriends don't know about how many guitars they have, or they do, and it's fine or not fine.
That would make sense. We'll get to that. Oh my gosh, you know what it is?
What?
An ice cube. It is a half-melted ice cube.
Zeba likes ice cubes.
Yeah, Zeba likes ice cubes, and the ice maker is right there, and so sometimes... And we were just making drinks, of course, to get ready. That's what he was going after. Okay.
Well, I couldn't see it, so.
So tonight, we're going to talk about... how much does your family know or participate in your guitar hobby? Which I don't know what made me think of this today. I don't know what made me think of it, but I think maybe it was because you're like, hey, I want to do the live stream with you. And so that means that everybody in our family participates somehow in the guitar stuff. And actually in all the hobbies, we kind of cross them all over. All the collecting stuff and all that.
Somebody said everyone is not as lucky as you.
Well, okay, so I don't know why I even thought to bring this up, but I'm curious to know, what?
Dr. Tim, he said if my wife knew that I had nearly 30, she would kill me.
I just counted. I think I have 29 or something.
Because I helped you with the list.
Yeah, that's right. We did the list during that video a couple weeks ago. Well, let's ask. There's one Patreon question right there. Let's ask that one first, and then let's get into this conversation. That one.
What general principle? They're doing their job.
I've not been able to go for like 2 minutes without them going crazy tonight. I don't know what the deal is tonight.
Okay, what general principle should I consider when choosing a middle pickup for a Nashville Tele? We'll be going in with a Fender CS
Custom shop, no caster. Okay.
Alnico 3.
Yep.
I said that right?
Yep, you did. So what I would say on that one is if you're going to do a Nashville set, you're going to need to worry about phasing. And I'm not sure if a no caster set is reverse wound, reverse polarity. I don't think they are. So you need to figure out what polarity the pickups are and what, I tell you what, if you can do this, if you can figure out, so are they north up or are they south up? They both should be the same. And then figure out, is the negative the start or is the positive the start? If you can tell me those two things about both of those pickups, then I can wind you a Strat pickup to match that will be phased correctly so we don't have to worry about this. That is the right answer. The easy answer is you just buy anything you want that's a relatively, relatively same output. I don't know that magnet choice matters much in that situation, really, when it comes down to it, because we're not talking about an overall output here. We're just talking about a little bit of a response difference, or like a frequency response difference. Not overthinking it. Some ding dong in the comments is going to like dive into all the differences between A3 and A5 and all the blah, blah, blah. But in real life, it's not going to make a huge difference. Phasing is going to be your number one concern. The easy answer is just flip the wires on the middle pickup if it's wrong. But you can also wind them correctly if you know what you got. We can wind you the right one to make it match. So there is that. I actually had a customer. Oh, it was actually this customer. It was Joe. Because doesn't the other comment right there say
that one? Thanks
yes.
For going the extra mile for thing. Yeah. What
does he say?
Thanks for going the extra mile for me and flipping the polarity on my Enduro. You're the man.
So he bought, Joe, actually, the person that asked this question, bought an Enduro from us and put it in a guitar with a different pickup that he didn't get from us, and it was out of phase. And so he sent it back to me, of course, at his expense, but he sent it back to me, and I just put it in the magnetizer, and we flipped the polarity for him, and I chucked it back in the mail to him so that we could make sure that the phasing was right. So, there's ways around everything, but that's what I would worry about more than anything is the phasing. So, I think, let me check and make sure, because it's very uncommon for us to only have 2 questions. Also, I need hockey scores. So, if you would please, anybody who's watching.
I have my phone.
No, it's okay. They'll keep us up. We got some hockey watchers. They got another screen going with. We've been doing this, the whole playoff.
I mean, I've not been here, so
yeah, we've been doing this the whole playoffs.
Watching the hockey part, but not this part.
Exactly. Let's see really quick. Let's just make sure that we don't have any.
Dog Dr. Tim says I have 3 barky beasts, so I know what you're dealing with.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And the thing is they don't go crazy until the camera turns on. Although they've been a little nuts all afternoon because, yeah, they've been a little nuts all afternoon. Let's see.
There's a game starts in 10 minutes.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Usually it's like 8:20 is the puck drop, which means by the end of, we usually miss the first period on Thursday, but since it's playoffs, I at least like to know what the score's going on. Yep. We didn't miss any other questions. So, what do we got going over there in the comments section?
Girlfriends, wives, empty guitar cases before you get married, filling them up as you go.
Oh,
that was my favorite.
So we got a lot of sneaky people, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, it says they just appear. Key is to buy as many empty cases before you get married, then fill them all up slowly. Also buy all Fiesta Red hardies to count guitars when they're the same. Harder to count guitars when they're the same color.
Oh, that makes sense. If you're trying to do that.
That rule.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So it is a thing. Like, I just don't think about it because it's not a thing for me. So.
Somebody else says, my wife knows I play, but she thinks I only have like 3 guitars.
I don't know why you just don't tell them. I want
to know where they're hiding them.
It takes up a lot of room, huh?
No, I mean, not even that, but like, how not involved are people with each other?
Ding. Great question. That's what I want to know.
I mean,
great question. Yeah. And they take up a lot of room. Like, so that whole stack of cases thing, you think about how many guitars we have everywhere. And
I mean, there's cases everywhere but my bedroom.
Yeah, your room. Well, in my bedroom, we don't have any in my bedroom. Right. So in the master bedroom and in
my bedroom, that's it.
In your bedroom, but mom's office closet is completely chock full. My office is completely chock full, and the attic is completely chock full of cases. Mm-hmm. Yep, they take a lot of space. Guitars take a lot of space.
Curtis Chavez.
Yep.
So Dylan, have you tried the Henriksen Bud 6? If so, what do you think?
I have not. What other questions we got over there? Do we have any actual guitar questions? Like, hey.
Hiding stuff from their wives, really.
That's the biggest one, huh?
And then somebody said easier to ask forgiveness than permission.
Yep.
Tazzy Tim says my wife doesn't care as long as it keeps me out of her hair.
We already established last week that Tazzy Tim doesn't have any hair. So
he's talking about his wife.
I know. I'm just making a funny joke. We're referencing last week because he said he doesn't have any since 1986 or something.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He hasn't had hair longer than I've been alive.
Whoa. That's pretty offensive even in Australia. Dang. That's pretty funny.
Martian Murray says, I live alone, so only the neighbors can be annoyed.
Makes sense.
Warheart Arts only have 4 guitars and a banjo and a uke and a violin I can't play.
So the banjo is the most offensive thing. Well, violin too. If you don't know how to play violin.
I think people who know how to play a banjo is kind of cool.
I agree, but if you don't, that's
spoons,
what I'm saying.
Like spoons and a banjo and a bucket, like that's kind of cool.
It is cool. It is very cool. But what I'm saying is, I think, so okay, so this is an aside to the normal question of the night, but what is the most offensive or least offensive, annoying, terrible instrument if somebody sucks at it?
A triangle.
There's only one answer. Bagpipes.
What's the squeezy thing?
Oh, accordion.
Yeah.
Accordion. That would be bad. Yeah, that would be bad. So I think
like 3 different instruments in one though. You have like 6 buttons over here and a piano over here and a bag.
That's true. I think that is true. I think I would say that a banjo is probably less annoying if you suck at it than a fiddle or a violin.
Somebody said a banjo should have just stayed a drum.
Well, I mean, I don't know though. Here's the thing about a band. Let me tell you why I like a banjo. White Zombie.
I was like, Rob Zombie, what are you talking
White Zombie, because John 5.
Hold please. Where's this one?
Yep. There it goes. Super chat.
Michael Hollis says, can you talk about P90 versus Filtertron in the mid?
Yeah, for sure. So, honestly, well, first of all, the two big differences there is if P90 has a humongous coil and a lot of magnet, a Filtertron has teeny weeny little coils and a lot of magnet. And they're really, really small. And so I think that a P90 has better mid-range. A Filtertron can be a little scoopy. And they're so low output that they end up being, I mean, they're very clear, like super, lots of clarity. They don't really sound that great when you drive them super hard. But I would say mid-range, if you were to guess, if you were to say what has better mid-range or, more pronounced mid-range, I would definitely say a P90 for sure. And Michael Hollis, your clear stuff was in the mail yesterday or the day before, so you should see that soon. Thank you for the super chat, by the way.
Vox Guitars Rock says, has everyone stocked up on their Behringer clone?
Oh, Behringer clones. No, I don't care.
What is that?
It's a pedal.
Oh.
There's some...
There's lots of those in here, too.
What?
Pedals.
Oh, a lot of people saying they have pedals?
No, I'm saying you have a lot of pedals.
Not really.
You used to.
I used to have a lot, and I don't now. In fact, I'm about to put a bunch of them up for sale. Keep an eye on the Facebook page and my Instagram, and actually the Facebook page, probably Dylan Talks Tone Facebook page. Keep an eye on that because I'm going to be selling a bunch of gear. I sold a bunch of knives last week.
Tazzy Tim says we were tough in Tasmania, so I will only use one tissue, Brianna. And then Big G Customs says, how well did your wife receive your guitar hobby in the early stages of your relationship?
Well, I had it before I had her, so.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, so.
It was also, I was like 11, so I didn't know how to process it other than this guy has a lot of guitars. He's a rock star.
I'll take it.
I mean, in all honesty, like.
I'll take it.
We walked in and it was dirt bikes and bicycles and phone stuff and
oh, that's right, because I was still doing
like,
cell phones back then.
I was like, at first, at like 11, I was like, okay, this dude's either a rock star or she married him for his money. Like, that's it.
Well, she wasn't marrying me for my money.
At 12 years old, I didn't know.
You didn't know the difference.
I just knew the Trace Adkins song, like, first time for love, second time for money.
Oh, my God.
That's what my friend did. I was like, okay.
Okay, you're not allowed to do this with me anymore.
Why?
Wow.
Great.
Wow.
And he had a cool dog.
Wow. I did have a cool dog. Oh my God, that is hilarious.
I never told you that story.
No, you never told me that story. We're going to have to tell Mom that story later. That is hilarious. That is super funny. Well, now she has both. So that's pretty cool. Well, no, she doesn't have any money. She has love though.
Ben Whitner says, I have a certain Fender Starcaster that only has one pickup. Which of your humbuggers is the best do-it-all pickup? The stock pickup does one thing really well, and that's it.
I'm assuming you're talking about the alien guy. What's his name? From Blink-182, or the Radiohead guy. Anyways, whatever. One of those weirdos. That's a rad guitar, actually. Humbucker, I would put, if in that guitar, I would either put a center punch and coil split it, and it would be super versatile, or I would put a Super 8 in it. That'd be super cool. Yep.
Dog Dr. Tim says bagpipes were more of a weapon than an instrument. They were even conscribed by the English for that very reason.
Really?
That man is like my favorite person to comment because
he knows a lot of stuff.
He's got the most random information.
He knows a lot of stuff. So bagpipes, do you mean like...
I'm going to suffocate you with them?
No.
Asphyxiation.
No, probably annoying. Probably like
to make people
when
wanna die?
Yeah. So like there was a thing they did in Iraq, and I think they did it in Nicaragua with you won't remember this because it's before you were born, but with Noriega, where they played loud, really annoying music outside of his hotel room to try to get him to come out. So you would do that with bagpipes. That would drive someone insane.
Oh.
I don't know if that's what it was used for, but I can imagine that it would be used the same way. Yeah, that's interesting.
T-Bone says, hey, Dylan, any word that Fender may be discontinuing the Performer series? They've discounted them and raised the min players line.
So I saw that, and we also have a super chat, I think, just popped
Oh,
in
wait,
there.
yes. Michael Hollis said, I meant the middle position.
Oh, in the middle position. It depends what else is in the guitar. A P90 is a lot for that. So it depends what else is in the guitar. I wouldn't put a Filtertron in the middle either, unless you're just trying to build something weird and cool. But you have some really weird and cool stuff, so you might, because I've seen some of his stuff, and he might, that actually, a Filtertron in the middle might be kind of neat. So Fender does an interesting thing. They revamp their line quite a bit. And I think that you're going to see over the next year, a lot of it's going to depend on cost of goods and imported goods, because I'm trying to not say the T word. But I think you're going to see a lot of rearranging in Fender's lineup to make sure that there are guitars at all the various price points that are still profitable for them, obviously. And as costs go up for various countries of manufacture and this and that, they're going to have to move things around. And the way they do it is not so much to just... Fender has a tendency to adjust their lineup rather than adjust prices. So they'll call something new, X or Y new line of import guitars, when really it's probably the same thing, but it's made in a different factory now, and it's blah, blah, blah. So I don't know that you're necessarily going to get a new guitar. You're going to get a rebranded guitar at a price point that you can still afford. That's what's going to happen. It's just going to keep moving around. People keep wanting to say, well, the standard used to be the American guitar, and now it's this Indonesian thing, and they're making everything worse. No, they're not. They're making the same exact guitars they've always made. They're just calling them different stuff for marketing purposes. So you just kind of have to look past that. And what I always tell people with Fender stuff is buy the guitar you want. And that sounds dumb, but bottom line is you look at the feature set and you go, okay, do I want a modern bridge on my Tele? Do I want a vintage bridge with 3 brass saddles on my Tele? Do I want a rosewood fretboard? Do I want a slab fretboard, or do I want a laminated fretboard? Do you want vintage spec? Do you want modern spec? Do you want somewhere in between? Do you want noiseless pickups? Do you not want noiseless pickups? And buy for the feature. Okay, so understand the features you want on your guitar, and the Telecaster that you want, the Stratocaster that you want, the Jazzmaster that you want, the spec, and then buy the one that you can afford that gives you that spec. Because typically the way it works is like your classic vibe stuff will have that vintagey stuff, and then they'll have a model range right around there too that'll be more modern, and then they'll have the Mexican stuff that will do the same thing, and then they'll have the American standard stuff that will do the same thing. So just decide the features you want, and then decide, do you want a Squire? Do you want a made in Mexico one, or do you want an American one? That's it. And they're all going to be great guitars. They're all going to be great guitars. There's no worry about, is this worth it or any of that kind of crap. They're all going to be great guitars. I keep saying I have a $139 Squire in there that I bought off of Amazon for a video, and it's fine. So they're all fine. It's just a matter of features. Yeah. Rant over.
Okay. Eric Richards says, is there a bagpipe pedal?
I don't know. That's a great question. Is there a bagpipe guitar pedal? That's a great question. I'm going to Google it as you keep going.
Said it's a long way to the top without bagpipes wouldn't work.
That is also true.
IBJI.
Yep.
Said, did you see the PRS versus Fender shootout on Rick Beato's channel?
Yeah, I don't care.
Somebody underneath that comment said, meh, Beato.
You know, Rick Beato is like...
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Beato.
Oops.
Is there a bagpipe?
Dom D says, what's up? It's been a while.
What's up? Guitar pedal. Cattle and bread. Oh, hang on. Atlanta Kilts.
What's a talk box?
Has a Blair digital bagpipe shutoff pedal. I don't know what that is. Oh, you know what? The Electro Harmonix String 9 string ensemble pedal. That thing can do a lot of very interesting things. And I bet in there with you twiddling some knobs, you could get a bagpipe facsimile. I would imagine that you could. And then there's some other stuff. Digitech has a polyphonic thing that you could probably get that sort of feel from. Let's see. Cattle and Bread keeps coming up with some weird stuff in my list here. And yeah, there might be something out there that's interesting. I mean, it's not really, because who cares about it? But at the same time.
What's a talk box?
So, remember that song, Hey, Mr. Fantasy?
I know, Ludacris. What's your fantasy?
No. I'll play it for you later. You'll know the song. I know you'll know the song. So what it is it's a pedal that plugs into your pedal board with a plastic tube that comes up, and usually the singer will have it.
Like how the Alice in Chains.
Yes.
Oh, really? I was being funny.
Yes. 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 So there's a bunch of classic rock guys that used to do it. And it's a tube that comes up, and it's right here next to the microphone. And they would literally put their mouth on it, and they would like into this tube, and it would go down into the pedal, and then it would make your guitar sound, and you would play the notes, and it would cross it basically with your voice. Yeah. No, I'll play you a couple songs afterwards, and as soon as you hear them, you're like, oh yeah, I've heard that song a million times, and you'll know that that's what that is.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah. I know, because you know a lot of classic rock stuff, so you'll know exactly as soon as I show you. Yep.
A lot of bagpipe stuff in here.
Yeah. Read through some of them.
Fox Guitar said, doesn't every multi-effects unit have bagpipe setting?
Maybe.
And then Michael Hollis said, I think I can do bagpipes on my MIDI synth Parker.
That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Yep. That would make a lot of sense. Whoa, Kickstart My Heart has bagpipes or talkbox.
I believe that.
Which I didn't know.
I believe that. I listened to that on the way back.
Did you? You listened on the way home? I didn't know that Steely Dan Haitian Divorce had talkbox. Nazareth Hair of the Dog. Peter Frampton, Do You Feel Like We Do? That's the song that everybody thinks of.
Dog Dr. Tim says, Google search Neil Anderson, the Jimi Hendrix of bagpipers. He probably uses pedals, etc. Everything. Peter Frampton used the bag.
Oh, really? Interesting. Oh, Living on a Prayer. That's a talk box.
It's still, that noise just makes me think of Man in the Box.
Well, it's the same
I know
thing.
it's his voice.
Yeah. And that's the same thing. Rocky Mountain Way.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Emotion. Show Me the Way by Frampton. Yeah, so there's a bunch. You know those songs.
Dimebag Coin says, I think some Scorpions might.
Yep.
I would believe that.
I think you're right too. Yep.
Somebody said Bagpipes through Didgeridoo.
Oh, see, now a didgeridoo is rad.
Bad Medicine.
Yes. Yeah. So now you know what a talk box
I
sounds.
know exactly what it
I'm
is.
sure you can remember what those sound like now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Warheart Arts said Bon Jovi used it a lot.
Yep, for sure. What was that last thing about? Oh, didgeridoo. Those things are sweet. I love the way they sound.
I always think of the Mr. P on YouTube.
I love that. It's so cool. I used to have one, like a kid one, when I was a kid
where did you put that? That should be the question.
Well,
where would you hide a didgeridoo if you can't hide your guitars from your wife?
Well, it's hiding how you play it because it takes a lot of space to play one. But they're really neat. Immediately I go to, and you won't know this because this song came out about the same time Tim was losing his hair. But Midnight Oil, Beds Are Burning, that record, and actually they're from Australia. Yeah, he probably knows them. Don't you hate that when people are like, wait, you're from Georgia, you must know so-and-so? So he's from Australia, so he must know the guys from Midnight Oil. He must. I doubt it.
I don't get that.
I will play a Midnight Oil song for you later. You're gonna have to make a list.
I know who that is.
I know you know who it is because we've listened to it before.
Dimebag Coin says, are we keeping the hockey score out of our typing? No.
No. I need to know.
We need to know.
Yeah, we need to know. What?
Fox Guitars Rock said Talk Box reminds me of the adults' voices on the Peanuts.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if they are. I wonder if that is actually. That would make sense. I wonder if it is actually a talk box.
Mm-hmm. IBJI said the real question for the stream should be how many of you have a wife?
Oh, that's a great question. Or a significant other that would be or that would be anybody that would have a say in it. The only time Leslie will ever say anything is when I want to make like a super major purchase. Go ahead.
Mark Hott says, greetings from the DJ Melrose fan club.
Oh, hey, what's up,
Is
man?
that who I think of when?
Uh-huh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
I talked to him today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was I going to say? What were we talking about before that?
Significant others who have a say in how many guitars you have?
Oh, yeah. So the only time she'll ever say anything is if I'm going to make like a super major purchase for one at a weird time. Like we might, I don't know. Even then, it doesn't really matter. So a whole bunch of things have to happen at the same time. We have to be doing something crazy, like buying a house, which I'm smart enough to not do that. That's the other thing. I'm smart, so I don't do stupid stuff at wrong times.
I thought you were going to say you were smart enough not to buy a house. I'm like,
No. I just mean, obviously I'm not dumb enough that I would do that incorrectly. But if I were to buy like something really expensive, if I were to buy a new Martin, for example, and we needed a transmission for the car and there was no reason to buy it because it didn't serve the channel or what we were doing at all, then maybe she would be like, I think this is a dumb idea. But as long as we're kind of just clipping along and everything is fine, she never ever. Because her kind of business building question is, are you going to make good content with it? You know, how's it going to serve the channel? And because we need to be able to write it off if you're going to spend that much money, you know, on something really cool. But yeah, that's about it.
IBJI said the Peanuts used a trombone player.
Oh, that would also make sense. Yeah, with the mute on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they would do, okay, yep.
Stu Crombie said, I'm on blood pressure watch, so I can't buy an expensive guitar or win the lottery at the moment.
Oh, yeah, new guitar day can be pretty exciting.
Eric Richards said his wife is a hockey fan.
Oh, right on.
Vox Guitars Rock said, I got a Martin acoustic for my wife. Best trade I ever made.
Wait, he got one for her or he got one in?
I'm assuming trade, so in place of.
All right.
I mean, I would trade my dog for lots of, like, I would give up a lot of things for another dog.
Oh, yeah. I get that. Yeah, you'd give up just about anything for your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If there was a scientist I could pay off to
keep him forever, you would.
I would sign my soul away for the dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. I know. You know, it's funny. Okay, so you talk about that, right? And I think the whole guitar thing and how your family takes it and stuff, it's a priority thing for me. Like, I'm not super attached to anything. So, you know, I have like 2 guitars that really matter.
We talked about that when we did the list. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, my red Strat, because I've had it forever. And then
Grandpa's.
My gold Strat that was my grandfather's. So I think besides those guitars, I could sell any of them, wouldn't care about. I'm not attached to them at all. So I think that's the other thing. Like if Leslie came to me and said, hey, well, we are there right now and I wouldn't mind doing it. Like if she came to me right now and said, hey, we need to build a deck. Can you sell a guitar? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. No problem. Like I'm not attached to stuff, you know.
Dog Dr. Tim says, I can help you keep your dog for longer.
Yep. That's what he does. That's his.
We've asked him questions before about.
And he's gave
like
us suggestions about various things that.
I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Lee Asbury says, my Yorkie agrees. Vox Guitars Rock. I like this. I approve of this comment.
What?
He has a t-shirt that says, I would push you in front of a zombie to save my German Shepherd.
We should write that down.
I hit the favorite button.
I know, but it won't stay forever.
Dom D says, my dog is high as hell right now. He had to get his stitches removed today from his neutering. Had to give him a... Oh, crap. Hold on. Had to give him a triple trazodone. He is feeling groovy for sure.
Huh.
Groovy? How old is he?
Don't ask. That's rude.
I wasn't asking him. It was just thought process.
I know.
Shaggy. That's what it makes me think of. Groovy, like Scooby-Doo.
Right.
It's the wrong dog.
I'm writing down ideas.
I love it. Nate Reader says, a lot of modern Squire guitars, especially the custom vibe ones, are top-notch. I am addicted to snatching them up and modding them into really special guitars. I am also overly attached to each. Yeah,
you know, they really are good. I am a huge proponent of that, and I'm glad that you said that and aren't afraid to say it, because, you know, we have these conversations all the time about other inexpensive guitar brands, and I just feel like, well, I would just say I think people throw their money away. I think the stuff that you're buying and doing that with is worth it. It builds some character that is worth having, you know? And I personally believe that those other off-brand cheap guitars are a race to the bottom, and a Fender Squire is a entry point into a trajectory. It's just an opposite direction kind of thing. Is the way I see them. And I know a lot of people don't agree with me on that, but that's the way I look at them. What else you got going over there?
Dom D says he's about the same age as you.
He doesn't know how old I am because I don't talk about how old I am on the internet. And when people try to guess, they always get it wrong.
I do that to people at my bar.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, people probably...
Like, you have to tip X amount of dollars if you get it wrong.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. Like, if you're off by this many years, you have to tip that much more.
That's awesome.
It works great.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun, actually.
And they probably don't get it right ever.
Ever.
Yep. Yeah, nobody ever guesses my age correctly.
Dimebag Coin says 9:22 left in the first period, no score yet.
Excellent. That's what we want to hear.
Dom D says, I could tell when he was talking to Dog Dr. Jim, he said, I could tell when they were kicking in because his eyelids got super droopy.
Oh, yeah. Yep. My dog, my Weimaraner, will literally stand there next to you. No drugs. Literally stand there next to you and like fall asleep standing up. But he has FOMO so bad that if something's going on, he doesn't want to miss it. So he'll just be standing there like, what are we doing? Oh, we're about to do something. And his eyes will be literally falling closed as he's standing there.
Mazuka. Not even, I'm going to butcher that.
Okay.
Said Panthers have been carrying the play and are heading into the power play.
Yeah, that's going to happen tonight. I think the Panthers are going to win tonight. The next two games are going to be the real tells because they're going to be on the road. And, yeah, we'll just have to see.
Bob Belden says, holy cow, Leslie's beauty regiment really worked. Good job.
Dang, I don't know how to take that exactly.
Does he not know I'm a different person?
I know, right?
Like,
she's Leslie's mini-me. Both of our mini-me.
Dr. Jim says, go get him, girl. People should tip much better.
I agree.
I don't really have sucky people, though.
Yeah, you'd seem to do okay without really having to worry about it, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, if I can get the people in the door, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's the
getting them in the door.
People who are scared of the rain.
Yeah.
Like,
on rainy nights or whatever.
It's cloudy, I can't drive.
Yeah. Well, we do live in the South, so it starts sprinkling. People turn their flashes on and turn on to go slow down to like 45 miles an hour and make me mad.
On the interstate?
Yeah. It's raining. Turn your hazards on.
Martian Murray says, what pot sizes are used on those Fender noiseless pups? Wondering if they should be swapped if I swap the pups.
They're probably 250s actually. And I think if I was using those guitars, I would put 500s in them. And if you swap the pickups, then I would just put, like if you're going to take those out, let's say you get a set of our flat sixes, just get the whole kit with all the pots and everything. And I would just go 250-15 cap. And I would put that in, yeah, that's what I would do. Yep.
Fox Guitars Rock said 5-on-3 for Florida.
Sweet.
I don't know if this is actually a question, so I'm going to tell you anyway.
Okay.
It says, guitar pickups are underrated. What'd you do for the kick and bass? It's in the same low end, around 60 to 75 hertz. Guitars are on their own 80 to 4,800 hertz. The only thing in that range is the vocals.
Yeah. I'm glad that you mentioned that. That's a really important thing that I think a lot of people don't understand too, is that guitar is a vocal in the vocal range of the instrument. It's in a, it's basically a woman's voice. And so, frequency wise.
You have to wait.
Go ahead.
Tazzy Tim said, replacing the Epiphone pickups in my Sheraton with the Dylan Center punches with coil splitting. Looking forward to the change.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I would definitely use 500K pots in there, and I would probably put a 33 cap. Was probably what I would use in that. 22 or 33. either way. But yeah, that'd be cool.
Vox Guitar says 1-0 Florida.
Oh, that would make sense. 5-on-3.
Dom D says, Dylan, people have trouble guessing my age as well. I've had people guess that I'm actually 10 years younger than I actually am.
Dang. Yeah, I always get asked younger, and then I'm like,
I get older.
You get older, and then I get younger, which is weird because you're my kid. Like, I have 2 grown children and a grandson. So
I think it's because most people my age shouldn't have my attitude or coverage of permanent.
No, I think, well, you act like a grown up.
That's the point.
Well, I know, but I think that's not common. It's not common. It's not as common as well, you know, you're trying to hire people all the time and they all suck. So
should be a new rule. If you're under like 27, you shouldn't work at a bar.
You shouldn't. That's funny. Yep. Probably kind of a slow night tonight. Everybody's watching hockey. No? Well, keep us going over there. What else you got?
Oh, I thought, we were talking about different things.
Oh, yeah.
I thought we were still talking about the bar.
No.
I'm trying to think of what we got over here. The last one we got was the Taz Z10 one.
Okay.
Somebody says my dog has no nose. How does it smell? Awful.
What?
I'm telling you what it says. Somebody says my dog has no nose. How does it smell? Awful.
That is an interesting comment.
Vox Guitars Rock said, is Leslie okay? She's good.
Yeah, she's good.
We just traded spots for the night.
Yeah, the only reason this happened is because Brianna wanted to do it. And actually, we're going to talk about some off-topic stuff that we're going to talk about some off-topic stuff.
This whole thing has been
that she's involved in. So yeah, we're gonna get into that here in a minute. In fact, we might go a little early just because of hockey and because it's a bit of a slow night.
We have 53 people watching though.
Yeah, bit of a slow night. Usually it's about 100.
Oh,
that's okay.
Wow.
No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. People are like, "Where's Leslie?"
Bob the
Builder.
Yeah. What? Bob Belden?
I'm just kidding.
Said, had a fun encounter a few days ago. Was checking out at Harbor Freight and was talking to the cashier. Told her I was learning to play guitar and her eyes got wide. I want to learn to play too. Gave her a quick rundown on what to do. Felt good to help someone start to play.
Dude, that's so fun.
That's neat.
That is really neat. And I hope that you were able to be encouraging to her. You know, I think we just made this video the other day. Not that many people watched it, but I didn't care. I wanted to talk about, how to choose a guitar and the mentality behind it. And honestly, just avoiding what the internet says, have real conversations like what you had with her. Hopefully you were able to, be really encouraging to her. I feel like a lot of guitar players really are very discouraging to others because of their own personal views on the instrument and, kind of like pushing those on other people. And when it comes to, a beginner player doesn't really need anything, right? They don't need anything. They just need to have the desire to do it. But they also don't need to be talked out of stuff. I think the biggest thing is, look, man, if you want to buy something cool, buy something cool. In general, I'm going to really be leaning on that on this channel quite a bit. So if you don't like that, you can watch something else. It's fine. I'm going to really lean on the whole thing about you should do this because you want to, and not because of what the internet told you to do, including me, So yeah, hopefully you can, when you encourage people to play, you actually encourage them to play and explore and enjoy instead of be bogged down. And I wouldn't join, I wouldn't join Facebook groups and stuff. I'm not a part of any guitar groups. I'm not in any guitar Facebook groups at all, except for mine. I might be in some, like leftover, because I didn't like manually leave them, but I'm not. I don't go in them. I don't talk in them. If somebody tags me maybe in something, I thought of this the other day because somebody tagged me in a group and I couldn't comment because I wasn't in the group. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad they're talking about our stuff. I appreciate that. But I don't find those places constructive to my creativity, so I don't go there. And they are not, contrary to popular belief, they are not good marketing venues. Brianna and I were just talking about that last night with some of the stuff we were talking about. We'll talk about in the off-topic hour, that Facebook is not really our jam. When it comes to the type of people who want to buy our products, because we have everything we do is pretty premium. It's not the lowest price. It's not the lowest, cheapest, whatever. And I feel like on Facebook, it's either people are just mad or it's cheapest marketplace kind of mentality, which we just don't have.
When we avoid Facebook, we avoid the people that don't appreciate it's not just throwing something together. It is time. It is, I mean, I've heard you talk about this a million times. Like, it's late nights, it's the extra research, it's the early mornings, it's the 3 pots of coffee. It's, it's not working in a plant for the rest of your natural born life. So you think everybody has to do that.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of, I'm going to watch the hockey game tonight, but me and you are going to be working on a whole other project that doesn't even have to do with this.
Right.
And
like, I took my iPad down to
babysit. Yeah.
To play with my nephew all day.
Yeah, we're not going to, we're working 24/7 because that's how it gets done. But you're right. It's a different mentality, which I have to, one of the things I have to do.
I think of Facebook as like small town mentality.
Oh, it is.
Like, that's how my brain processes it.
For
like,
sure. It is.
You're not ever going to go more than 2 states out of where you live.
And to be fair, that's how it's structured, because it's structured. It's structured zip code, distance,
I hate when like suggested friends or people like I went to school with them. Like, no. It's funny. Like suggested friends. Oh no.
I know. And you know what's so funny about that too? I don't like not. Okay, so a lot of people get on to me for like buying at Sweetwater all the time instead of supporting a local business. And we don't need to mention any names, but you know that I have tried many times to do business locally, and it just bites me in the butt every time. And I'm like,
I mean, I tried working.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm like,
and it just bites me in the butt every time. Like, I can't get anybody to think bigger than, 2
I went
streets.
to high school with these people.
Exactly. So it's hard because I want to encourage others to support local business wherever they can. It's just that where I live, I don't have one that I can do that with, which I would love to do. I would love to do it. I'd love to have a relationship with a local store that, was super cool and, we could do all those things, but it's just not meant to be around here for us.
Eric Richards said, all right, going to try to steer this back to pickups. Will you ever make an active pickup or active circuit?
No. I don't like active stuff. And to be honest with you, Fishman Fluence is the jam on one side, and EMGs, man, they're it. Like, I don't know why we have to explore that much more. I suppose somebody could, but I think that I enjoy passive stuff so much more. And I think that for me and what I understand and know, I think that's it. I like it.
Dr. Tim said, just ordered the Pearson guitar sent to you. 4 to 6 weeks delivery time, so do the voodoo that you do so well.
Rad. That's super cool. That's the aluminum one.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use mine. In fact, I want to talk to you about this. So what we're gonna do is
the one in there?
Yep.
Okay.
I want to take it apart because it's all like metal plates put together. Mm-hmm. So I want to take it apart and I want to engrave like the back.
Each layer?
Well, you can't see all the layers, but you can see a few of them.
Okay.
So like, let's come up with some designs and like do some really neat stuff and do some engraving. I was actually thinking about taking it and having it Cerakoted and then engraving some of it, having some of it Cerakoted. I don't know. We'll have to see. But
I love that.
He likes dragons, so he wants to do something dragon themed on his. I know. You have a couple of dragon designs that are really cool. Okay, so this is actually on topic. keep an eye out for questions.
Yeah, I know.
But we should talk about this.
Okay.
So one of the things that we're going to talk about in the off-topic hour, which is in 5 minutes, is laser stuff not related to guitar stuff. We're going to start we have been in the process of, we have all the business stuff in place. We're starting a whole other business having to do with the laser stuff.
The pages are done. It's just getting everything
all the
uploaded
stuff
to
is all the stuff is done. We're in the process. Because first of all, she wants to do some neat stuff with it, and I'm going to hire her to do those things. And the other thing is,
they know about my art stuff, and I haven't been in it in a while.
Yeah. And the other thing is, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment that doesn't get used but a couple of days a week because
2-0 Florida.
Huh?
2-0 Florida.
Nice. Because I don't use it enough. I bought it for the guitar business. But one of the things guitar related wise is we really want to do some more original artwork, custom design stuff. Okay. And we're going to do some videos in the next probably week or so about potential for that and what we can do with instruments to give you guys some custom engraved one-off art stuff that I think is really, really neat. Some pick guards, some plastic work, plastics like back covers and that kind of thing, where we can show you some really, really neat stuff. And so make sure that you are fueling your imagination with what could be possible to make some really, really cool art pieces. For those of you that don't know,
Dr. Tim already gave me a job.
Did he?
Yes.
Send me a chat or send me a text. Tim, you have my number, and I'll put you in direct contact with her if you want her to do some stuff.
That would be a person I'm cool with.
Yeah. So Tim, you have my number, so just text me and I'll give you her information. So we have already, and we've done it. We can take an entire guitar body and do insane stuff. So if you have ideas that you want to execute onto a guitar body, onto a pick guard, onto pickup covers, onto all that kind of stuff, if you just have a concept and you need the artwork done, we can do it. The last guitar body we did.
That, I'm just going to say, I want to do that again.
Yeah, it's fun.
Give me a rough idea in the guitar. And
y'all don't know this, but just the other night, she had one of her customers, and you've done this many times.
This will be my third.
Yeah, have people pay her to design tattoos and stuff. So the level of artistry that we can put into a guitar is, you won't get this anywhere else. And so we want to do that stuff. I mean, we make the best P90s in the world, right? We make amazing Telecaster stuff.
It's a PMag.
A PMag?
Never mind.
Yeah. Actually, hey. I forgot that I bought a bunch of them. There's a stack of them in there.
Well, Dom D.
Dom,
I think he wants one.
Dom, hit me on the chat on the website. I will.
Lee Asbury wants custom pick cards.
Okay.
We did a cool one last week.
Yes.
That one was.
Yes.
I told them I would run into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just get in touch with me, even if it's off-topic stuff. For now, what I'll tell you is, even if it's not guitar related, if you want PMags with stuff on them, if you want, the other thing we got is the little, it's off-topic hour.
Wait,
we have a super chat. Go ahead.
Michael Hollis, I have another tribute idea. You saw The Nurse.
Oh my God. Yes, I did. I'll show it to you.
What do we?
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, this guitar is bad. It's so cool. He showed it to me in Nashville. Okay, so
this is a dude like you know.
Yeah. So Michael Hollis is also the person who is responsible for giving me the idea to do the special Stratocaster pickups with the Lexan tops or the acrylic tops that we just came out with last week. When I was in Nashville earlier this summer, he said, "Hey, can you make these clear for me?" And I'm like, man, that'd be a whole new thing that I've never done before, but I can try. And so I kind of forgot about it. And then he texted me like 3 weeks ago and was like, yo, what about those clear? So we made him a clear humbucker and we made him clear Stratocaster pickups, custom cut, totally everything custom. And I'm like, well, wait a minute.
3-0 Florida.
We have all of these other acrylics that we could do all this custom stuff with. And so that's why you can go to the website now and buy that. It's because of Michael Hollis. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw up the off-topic little banner right there.
Forgot about that.
All right, and so, hey, buddy, how are you? So this is off-topic hour. So you can ask any question you want as long as it is nothing to do with guitars. If you have a guitar question, you have to put it in a super chat.
Michael Hollis said, I want you in on this one.
Now, because of the conversation that we're having, if it includes some guitar stuff or it makes you think about some guitar stuff, idea-wise, obviously we'll let that go and we'll chat about that because I just want to fuel some ideas. So, and so what I was going to say is we've got a website in the works. We've got everything in the works, but I just want to start kind of fueling ideas, right? We're going to do some really neat stuff. On the firearm side, people have been asking me a bunch about PMags. We can do that. We've done it. All of my PMags for all of my ARs are all custom crazy stuff. We can do lower receivers. We could do upper receivers. We can do, well, I can't really do lower receivers because I don't have an FFL. I take that back. But if you wanted to do, any other parts like hand guards, any kind of stuff like that, I have, like, for example, I have a Aero Precision lower receiver that I put a topo pattern on, which is really, really cool. And so we can do the same thing with, I can't do lower receivers because I don't have an FFL. That, you can't do that. But we can do upper receivers. We can do all the other parts. We're going to do custom guitar stuff. Absolutely. And we really want to feed your, and I know this is off topic hour, but we really want to feed your imagination with that. I'm going to continue to talk about it. I want to be like the leader in this in 2 years. I want to be the place that you come if you have a guitar that is not a black Strat with a white pickguard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be that place for you. And so even if you don't see it on the website, even if it's something that I've not thought of, if it's something random,
That's my favorite.
Ask me, can you do this? I might tell you no. I might tell you, hang on, let me figure it out. It might be a minute. Push us with ideas, and we want to do this for you. Now, on the off-topic hour stuff, now that we're talking about this is you can ask any question you want, by the way, off topic. It doesn't have anything to do with this. You can ask about knife stuff. I'm going to tell you about Blade Show. We're going to tell you about a whole bunch of stuff. So those kind of things, get in the comments, ask those questions. Brianna will catch them. And we'll talk about them.
Lee Asbury says, I'll send you my current pick guard, tell you the pickup routes and material I want. You can do that.
Get with me before you send me anything. But sort of, yes.
IBJI said, ever give a super over the top tip at a restaurant?
Have you?
I don't know if he's asking me or you.
Have you ever gotten a super over the top tip?
It says ever give.
Oh yeah. A lot. Yeah. I love doing that. I love doing that. And honestly, I'll tell you when I do it. You've been with me.
Mm-hmm.
When we've been somewhere and let's say the server is busting her butt and no one else in the restaurant is doing their job, and you can tell that she's stressed out, but she like wants to do it. You could tell she wants to do a good job, but she can't because the management sucks, or because the cook sucks, or because somebody else sucks, but she's trying to do good. Then I'll really tip her really good. And there's been a lot of times where I'll be like, hey, come here. Like, put this in your pocket and don't tell anybody. Like, don't tip out the bartender.
I'm about to say, that's just because so many people make their girls tip share.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And sometimes I'm like, no, nobody else deserves a piece of this. You're the only one worth anything around here. I want you to have this. Oh, yeah, I've totally done it. And I think, I don't know that I guess I've always kind of been that person. But because you do it, and you tell me things like that you have to put up with on it.
Horror story.
Yeah. So I like to make sure that I think of it. And of course, I always tip you good when we go there. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
What else you got?
That was the restaurant one. Eric Richards said those light 3D nightlight panels. I got a hummingbird one. Looks effing incredible. Pickup cover backlit with LED.
So we've done LED backlit stuff. It's really hard to do. I can do it. So here's the thing. Anything is possible. You got to be willing to pay for it. On the guitar side. Well, I mean, anything's possible anywhere. You just got to be willing to pay for it. That's the thing. And I think one of the things you got to remember, okay? Now, we're pretty fair on stuff. Like, we're pretty fair on pricing and stuff, especially with the laser stuff. You know, like on a pick guard, and I know this is off topic hour, but since we're kind of all melding this together because I really want to fuel you out, we'll talk about it a little bit. You know, Chris from Texas Toast was asking me today, how much do you charge for a pick guard? And I'm like, the full acrylic stuff, full boat fancy, $60. Okay. And it sounds 60 or 80. It depends on the pick guard, 60 or $80. It sounds like a lot of money, but this is not some Chinese garbage that you're buying on eBay. Like, this is something I am physically making, right? We cut it out with the laser. Well, first of all, we designed the thing, and then we cut it out with the laser, and then we route the edges and we sand, it's a whole process. And the acrylics are made in the United States. Like, the stuff that we buy is top shelf stuff. I'm not buying stuff from, there's a Canadian company that I do buy from, but I can't right now because they closed down their sales until they can open an American warehouse because of the tariff stuff.
Thought you weren't saying the T-word.
I wasn't. But I'm just saying that we've had to make adjustments there. But my acrylics place is in Texas that we buy all of our acrylics from right now. There's a couple places, but that's the main one. And it's all made here. Like, it's real, man. It's so, yeah, you're going to pay 60 or $80 for a pick guard, but it ain't garbage off of eBay.
Temu.
Or Temu. Yeah. And in fact, we were just talking about that today because we were like on the off topic stuff. So we just ordered a bunch of cutting boards. I want to do some charcuterie.
Shark what?
Whatever it's called. Charcuterie.
Shark.
Yeah.
Chartreuse? Charcuterie?
Yeah.
Not charcuterie.
Chartreuse is the color.
Well.
I call it charcuterie. Anyway. Yeah. Sets, with like little engraved and matching.
Chartreuse? Isn't that what they're called? Chartreuse?
Charcuterie?
What?
Charcuterie?
No, what mom say?
I mean, charcuterie doesn't sound any.
What'd you say, Mom?
It's charcuterie.
It is charcuterie?
Yeah. How is charcuterie better than shark? It's the same thing.
Marie?
It's the same thing. Anyway. But we're like, let's buy some really nice stuff. Like, we were looking at some other companies that do this laser engraving stuff. And I was talking to a buddy of mine who actually has a laser engraving company. And he's like, the thing is, everybody makes this same generic garbage. He's like, you gotta make nice stuff, right? So you gotta start with quality parts. Like, you gotta start with quality cutting boards. You gotta start with quality stuff. bottle openers and all those things. Like, make nice stuff.
Oh, you make me bottle openers all the time. I love them.
Yeah, and they're tested like in the environment. Like, you use them and they're good, right?
Yeah, I mean they're a little banged up, but I think that's more to do with my purse and my knives than
exactly.
the bar.
Yeah, so so we've got a bunch of cutting boards coming. We've got we actually have these koozies which are fantastic, and they're in a bunch of different colors, and you can engrave whatever you want on them. So if you have a company or something and you need, I just delivered today 20 hats with custom patches to a guy, a local friend of mine here, who buys a bunch of stuff. He bought 20 hats a month probably from us. So
the across the river one?
Yeah. Chuck came by today. And I want to do whiskey flights. We have flasks in the works.
Moscow mules.
We have Moscow Mule mugs in the works.
We have
of course keychains and all that kind of junk.
we have journals.
We have journals in the works.
Keychains, bottle openers, coasters.
Yep. Slate coasters.
Yep.
What else?
Can we do glass?
Okay, so glass is interesting. I want to do glass.
Okay.
Glass is tough. I've already broken 3 trying this. You want me to figure out glass?
Okay. Well, I can do the research.
Okay, so the trick about glass is the settings have to be 100% right, because if you get them, if it's not enough, it won't etch, and if it's too much, it breaks the glass because it's hot. So there's a couple different ways you can do it, and
that would be the smaller one, right?
I don't know yet. That's the thing. I'm working on it. Yeah. So we have a CO2 laser and we have a fiber laser, so we can do lots of stuff. We're looking at doing personalized jewelry.
Oh, we've done that.
Yep. We're looking at doing yeah. Well, we have a supplier for good personalized jewelry. We have a lot of stuff in the works. Tested. Yep. Yeah. All the family has personalized jewelry because, like, all of us have all this stuff is around here. That's what that is. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, we've been working hard, man. We've been working hard behind the scenes, and I think it's getting to a point where you're going to start seeing some stuff. But I just wanted to put noise. I wanted to put the noise out there that this is happening.
We talked about this yesterday. I told Dad I wanted to do this and see what people could and couldn't steal but not steal.
Yeah, she was like, "Can I do the off-topic hour with you, or the whole, so that we could talk about this and kind of get people's juices flowing and think about it?" And
because they communicate with you, like if they have an idea or something that they think the market or people would want, there's people from all over the place. They're gonna tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have to just talk to people and be jowling.
All right. Yeah. No, and that's the thing. I think everybody is. And I
always give me good ideas.
Yes. And I have faith that our community will support other stuff because they know that we make good stuff, right? They already know that we make really good stuff. And that's why I want to, it's one of the reasons why I want to stay with. Mom was showing me some stuff today that another local business around here was making. And I'm like, it's cool. I get what she's doing, but I don't want to do that because.
Are you talking about the one she showed me last night?
Yeah. I mean, her concepts are good.
That's a very
some of her
specific crowd.
Right.
That's not broad.
Right. I want to be flexible, and I want to give people good products. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to do Zippos.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We're going to do Zippos. We've already done Zippos. We actually have Zippos on our website, our Zippos. We're going to do flasks. I want to do a whole... my vision for this is to have a few different genres of stuff. So like drinkware, barware, yeah, barware stuff, and then and also coasters and various things like that. And then for that section, have like some drop downs of various designs. So like if you're a hunter or a firearms enthusiast, that you'll be able to pick, I want a coaster with a duck on it, or with a deer, or with a, whatever, like, because you're a hunter kind of person. Or you might want a 1911 or a rifle or a whatever. And then maybe over here we've got some flowers, and we've got some, cows, and what's the big fluffy cow?
A Highland cow.
Highland cow, yeah. So we bought all the graphics for the Highland cow stuff. So and so you'd be able to like, okay, I want to buy this coaster with this design on it, and kind of do an a la carte sort of thing where you'd be able to design whatever you want. So we're working on that. It all takes time, but I kind of wanted to just put it out there that this is what we're doing. Pens,
dog tags. Michael Hollis said he wants his dog tags remade.
Oh, we could totally do that. Absolutely,
great idea.
Absolutely do that. In fact, I just gave Chuck today, because I had some dog tags in the garage that I had etched up, and they say, so I have these dog tags that I etched up. I made her a set, and I had an extra set, and it's a dog tag, and it's got bullet splatter on it, and it's got a little AR on it, and it says, "My dad doesn't miss." And
He's gonna give that to his daughter.
That's why I gave it to him. I said, "Here, you can put this on a necklace and give this to your daughter." So
no, mine's on a bracelet. I don't have a dog tag.
Oh, yours is on a bracelet.
I have a hat and a bracelet.
That's right. Yep. So yeah, we're just trying a bunch of different stuff. I think it's going to be neat. So again, if you have ideas that you want to execute, or if you've been like, I need this for my business, I need this for my, whatever. We could do corporate gift stuff. We could do. So one of the things I'm doing for a local company here, only because he's a buddy of mine, is he owns a cabinet company, and I think we're going to start making all the little care packages that go every time somebody buys a kitchen. They're going to get a coffee cup and a cutting board and a blah 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 with their brand on it, right? So if you are a real estate agent, for example, and you want to have some kind of care package for every closing, and you want to have, a cutting board and a mug and a who knows, whatever it is, with your name and logo and whatever on it, we can do that. So we're gonna do that kind of stuff. We're gonna do, like I said, corporate gifts. Like, hey, no squeakies. We're gonna do things like, if you have a company that you want to give all your employees a gift at a certain time of the year, and you need, a bunch of pens with their name on it or whatever, like we can do all that stuff. So
okay, you're getting ahead of me here.
Super fun. Anyway, that's what I wanted to just give you some ideas.
Custom. What's a truss cover? Truss rod cover. Truss rod.
Truss rod covers we could totally do now. I've actually got the
chips.
Poker chips. Oh yeah, we can do poker chips.
That's a good idea.
We can actually make poker chips. No, they're talking about so turn around.
The pointy one?
And look at the Les Paul where it says rhythm and treble, the pickup switch. Mm-hmm. So we can put we've made them already. We've made my favorite one that we made says malarkey on one side and shenanigans on the other. And we've made we can make Ginger and Mary Ann. We can make whatever you want. Yeah, we can make whatever you want. Absolutely.
This is very random. Vox Guitars Rock is now on my level of thought process. He's like, I just cracked open the 40 ounce of Crown Royal Blackberry. Wish me luck. He's either going to get alcohol poisoning or love everything in life. I've seen it. It's one of the two. Mix it with lemonade. Mix it with lemonade.
There you go.
I'm telling you. That's
if you need a drink idea right now, she's your girl. Hey, guys, can we go do that somewhere else, please?
Vox Guitars Rock says, why didn't they call lightsabers laser swords in Star Wars? They did in Mandalorian. Off topic enough. LOL.
That's a good question. Oh, speaking of...
Because for little kids, lightsabers sound cooler than light lasers.
Speaking of swords, I wonder if that's part of it. Because I wonder if in that time period, because they didn't call the guns, they called them blasters. And they called the swords lightsabers. I wonder if if George Lucas was trying to not sanitize, but maybe like make it more
child friendly.
Yeah, no, like more marketable, right? Like, think about it like
if you Googled a certain thing, it would only come up for that.
Well, there was no Google in 1978, but like when Star Wars came out, more family, like it was a more family thing. Rambo came out about the same time or a little after. So Rambo is obviously very pew pew and military, right? Mm-hmm. That's much less, even if it was a PG version of that, which it's not, but if it was, it would still be much less marketable and more people reaching, outreaching than Star Wars, because they changed it from a gun to a blaster and a sword to a lightsaber and so maybe that's why.
Somebody asked about metal with the engraving. Yes.
Yes.
We can do metal.
We can do metal. We can do copper, titanium, aluminum, stainless steel. We can do contrasted anodization. We can do all kind of stuff. Yeah. Acrylics.
Rock says
wood.
Watch engraving.
Huh?
Watch engraving.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things, so we didn't talk about this, but I'll go ahead and talk about it now. So we went to Blade Show last weekend, and I got to spend, I think I talked about this on Patreon a little bit. I got to spend some time talking to one of my favorite knife brands of all time, which is Spartan Blades. Their pocket knives are super premium, like super. I have to save up money to buy them premium. Like they're very, very expensive. And I've got.
It's so bougie when you say.
Well, they are. That knife right there, that is $575.
That did not help.
I'm just saying.
That was like.
Oh, there's a whole wall of them. No, it's the one. Anyway, it's the one with the dragon on it. You know the dragon one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was $575. And I talked to the man that created that knife, and I was like, man, I have a laser. I wish I could do these colors. And he talked to me forever. He's like, so here's what you do. He's like, see that guy over there? That guy sells sheets of titanium. So go talk to that guy and then get it cut down to your size, blah, blah, blah. And he's like telling me where to start with the settings and what to do and how to test. And so I came home and like went down this whole rabbit hole of titanium colors, like how to do colors on titanium. So cool.
Waldy McWalderson said bougie blades.
I mean, it's my jam. If you're on Patreon, you already know, but I completely, and maybe you might have caught a glimpse of it during the podcast on Tuesday, but I took all my firearms down off of that wall and I made this whole really cool display of all of my pocket knives. So it's super fun. It's way different looking, but it's neat. It's super neat.
The Mazu guy said, any opinions on the upcoming Lion Helix 6 Stadium?
That's a guitar question, so we're not going to answer that after 9 o'clock. I don't know, though. I haven't seen it.
I didn't know that was a guitar question.
That's okay.
IBJI said, how's the axe throwing going?
Okay. So let's talk about axe throwing for a second. So we have a couple of different types. I went and bought the Waddle, like the WATL official, because me, I'm going to do that. And it's, first of all, it's much harder than it looks. It is it's not like, it's like throwing darts, but it's not like throwing darts. Like there is a thing to it. And then we also bought some lighter weight, like, throwing knives and some like speed hatchets, like some small speed hatchets. And
Those
so
are not easy.
They're not. Like it's hard. It's definitely.
That's what we should do for a Patreon video. How long does it take before we're throwing it just to throw it?
I mean, that's the problem. There is definitely a skill to it. And I would love to go downtown and watch all the drunk people try to do it.
Okay.
You've done it, right?
I've done it. Intoxicated.
Okay.
It's a lot easier. Intoxicated.
Hey, why are the dogs barking?
I think I accidentally kicked the bar.
Oh.
Because we went, for like a work thing.
Yep.
And like a work team building event. And my boss is great. He's like, let's go drink liquor and throw sharp objects. And I was like, okay.
Well, you know what's really funny about that? It's funny you say that because
you don't overthink it.
Oh.
You don't think it. At that point, it's fun, and you're just throwing sharp objects at things because you can throw sharp objects at things.
Well, maybe I need to not think hard then. Think is hard.
The
lawn is very aerated in front of the target. I will say that.
What'd you say?
The lawn is very aerated in front of the target because every time they bounce off and hit the grass.
Yeah. Have you used any of the cold steel knives, Tanto, Recon, Kyoto?
I have. I'm cold steel is it's its own thing, right? Like they're very cool for the people that really like them. I have I've really focused my collection over the last 3 or 4 months. I actually sold a bunch of knives last week. And so I'm getting a little more focused with it. So chances are you won't see me featuring any cold steel stuff. I'm just going to be honest with you. They're made in Asia. And I'm just not I have one knife made in China. And I have one knife. No. That's made in Japan. That Spyderco is made in Japan. I thought it was made in Taiwan. I don't have any Taiwan. Oh, wait.
I think you do.
I think that fixed blade is made in Taiwan. But I don't have... the only knife that I have that concept right there that's made in China. But other than that... Hey buddy. How's it going?
Somebody said car club guy would love chrome door seals. That's an idea.
We could do that. You'd have to source the parts and send them to me and pay shipping and stuff, and then I'd just I'd charge you for laser time. That's all. But yeah, we could totally do that. If you find blank ones and tell me what you want on them, I'll do it. Absolutely.
Cheese.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheese. That's a great idea, actually. We should get some blank ones and do that and go show them to Mike.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And a couple places that you know.
No.
No? Okay. That was funny.
You tell him, Bubba. That's not for you.
So Zeba's an alcoholic. And
there's not even anything left in my cup.
And he will drink your drink.
Hi.
You're like making a list of people and they're giving us ideas, huh? Yeah, awesome.
There's like YouTube name and idea.
Excellent.
That way we can reach out to them like, hey, look, we tried it.
And it's hard for us to reach out to YouTube names. So if you guys have ideas and stuff that you want to actually do, please do me a favor and send me a message on the website. And then I will probably...
Why don't we give them the email I made?
Oh, you have an email?
I made an email.
Oh, well, put it in the chat right now. I did not know that.
Oh, I made an Instagram. I made a I made a Facebook.
Okay.
I didn't make the TikTok because I'm not going to make a TikTok without something to put on it.
Yeah.
And I made an email. I made all of the things.
All right. Well, she's about to throw an email on you.
And
you're mostly going to be talking to her because I got to put her on this. I'm busy with other things, but we are working together to make sure that everything is quality and everything is awesome.
Don't get mad if I'm like responding at like 11:30 when I get off of work.
Yeah. She still has a real job, so we're making this happen. All of us with real jobs and still trying to keep it going and turn it into a thing. So
I think I remember what it is. I do.
Yeah, go ahead and just put it in the chat so they have it. So if you have things that you're interested in having done, things that you want, guitar related or not, I'll tell you that. Just send us an email at this address, and her or I will get back to you, and we will make a thing happen. Okay.
I'm so excited.
So it's in the chat right there.
I think that's right.
So yeah, I think we should go watch hockey.
I think I want to make sure that this is right
Okay.
before we're just like, okay, here it is. Good luck. Bye. And I'm blowing up the wrong person's email. I'd feel real bad. And then the people are going to get mad. Like,
Yeah, she just did this last night. So
No, I did it like 2 days ago.
Gotcha.
I was right.
Okay, good.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go watch hockey and play with our obviously ridiculous dogs at this point.
They're great.
And thanks for hanging out. This has been super fun. Thanks for all the ideas. We're going to look into some of this stuff as we watch hockey and make sure that we have the ideas in place. And I appreciate everybody's support throughout all the years. And as we expand into other things, it's super fun that you all are here. So
I like all the ideas.
yeah, thanks a lot.
It's hard for me to come up with them.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's interesting about her is once you put an art idea in her head, she will execute it and it will be very good. So yeah, awesome. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all later.
Where's the button? There it is.
You have to like hover over it.
I found it. Right? That one?
That's it. Can I hit it again?